Boom. It's been a long time coming, but we finally broke. Like an egg yolk, we ain't no joke. 3 wide racing, Nathan Young's designs. B-Car. Chicago, round 2 of the playoffs. In the booth, Matt Kingston, Thomas Morris, Trey Landry. Hit him with it, boys.
What am I hitting him with? A Louisville Slugger?
I don't know if I can follow that opening rap monologue.
Yeah, I'm a little too white for that. So I don't have the tongue itch for that. But hey, we're here. It's been a nice week or two off here. So we get back to some exciting action on the 1.5-mile track here at Chicagoland. I know Matt's been thrilled to come here.
Hi, I'm Matt, and hi. No, I hate this place.
And I like salad dressing on my beans.
Not true.
All right, so we're here. This is the final round, final race of round 1 in the playoffs. We've got the bottom 4 guys going to get kicked out tonight. It's a pretty intense battle so far, Matt and Trey. We saw Eric and Peter both locked into the next round with their wins at Mid-Ohio and wherever Eric Mickey won. Some Texas place, I think his little hands got the job down there.
I believe you are correct.
It's been so long. I mean, you have to go back in the memory banks here to find it.
Well, can we hit him with the points?
Yes, producer, hit them with the points.
We're behind. But I'm looking here. Nathan Velez, Paul Ross right now tied for the final cutoff spot. But I believe that Velez will do the tiebreaker if it were to stay that way, which it probably won't. But if it stayed that way, because Velez has a win, correct?
See, now you're getting ahead of my pay grade here. We're just going to assume they're not going to end up tied, so that's not going to be a factor.
That's it. This kind of race is wide open. I mean, besides Eric and Peter, nobody's assured a spot in the next round. So, I mean, if Kevin Finn has a really awful race, he could find himself on the outside looking in.
I think Kevin's probably the most secure, but even then, like you said, a bad race and you're sitting right there in trouble with the rest of these guys. Definitely going to have to turn it up a little bit. We know Tanner, he had a rough Texas, and then Mid-Ohio also, not one of his favorite tracks there, so it didn't go over too well. But I believe he gets a solid run in here tonight. He's been running top 2 or 3 most of the 1.5 miles. So if he can get up there and get a solid finish or a win, that's going to move you right on. So that could really impact some of these other guys like Paul Ross and Mr. Velez, as Matt said.
Yeah, and look at the list here. Excuse me. Paul Ross and Nathan Velez have some pretty nice qualifying laps there, both in the top 5. So that might be useful for Nathan. See if he can kind of move his way up to the front as opposed to having issues or he's usually mired back in traffic.
Just looking through Richard Lafferty, he's been quiet in this playoff so far. Not real flashy, but it's kind of been hanging around. Still got a massive 1-point gap over Paul Ross and Nathan Velez. That's huge here tonight. I believe he's someone who could, he could play the spoiler here. I don't think a lot of guys, he got a win early in the season and kind of floundered around a little bit, I guess you'd say, and just didn't really show a lot of flash. But I think he's someone who might turn the wick up here as we get on down the road, assuming he can get past some early drama that he kind of normally gets caught up in.
Trying to avoid the problems, as it were.
Oh, God. I think we heard that enough today, man.
Yeah, with only, 7 cars finished in the lead lap. It's a great time.
Well, the guy with the guy with the most trouble to dig out of is Richard Hines at the moment. He's pretty deep in the field in points and pretty deep in the qualifying order. So got a lot of work to do tonight.
And we only have 100 laps too to do it. So
yeah, I'll be right back. I got floaties in my gin and tonic.
That surely does not sound good.
No, it does not.
Nah, screw it. I guess the alcohol will kill them anyway, right? Besides, we're about to grit them up.
I would say pretty much. Alrighty. Well, this guy's already logged into the next round, guys. But you know what? He said I'm still going to go here and show what I got here. We got Eric the Small Hands Mickey, for Bombshell Motorsports. Going to roll off on the pole into his outside, Levi Zielinski. Got speed again tonight. See if he can put it all together.
Hitting her from row number 2, we have the 18 of Paul Ross, who's a bubble driver. Needs to have a good showing here so he can make sure to make his way into the next round. Who's outside, so not running for points. Number 4 of Luis Salmaso.
And starting 5th, we're going to be watching that battle between him and Paul Ross all night. They're on the currently fighting for that last transfer spot. Nathan Velez starting 5th. To his outside, Tanner Sharp in the number 3 machine.
Rolling off P7, like we mentioned earlier, little points cushion over the guys, but still going to be pretty cautious tonight. Make sure he gets to the end and rolling off to his outside, Richard Lafferty for Johnny Thomas Racing.
Starting for Pilot Performance Group in the 9th spot, we have the 39 of David Wilson. To his outside, the 83 of Johnny Thomas rounds out your top 10.
And starting P11, the driver of that number 2 machine, Carlos Acosta. To his outside, starting P12, Kyle Hanshaw.
Rolling off P13, we have Richard Hines, and to his outside, Jordan Teal.
Starting back in 15th, last 2 cars take times. We have the 88 Rusty Webb to his outside, the proprietor of Pilot Performance Group. Wow, 64 of Chad Brown.
And rounding out the rest of the field, Chuck Sweeting, Sam Close, Peter Short, and Matt Hackathorn is Tailgun Charlie tonight.
He's going to hack his way up through the field tonight. He was strong, actually, the last couple weeks, especially at Mid-Ohio 2 weeks ago, I guess it was.
Yes, at the previous race, I guess would be the easier way to word that. Matt?
I don't do words and such.
No, I mean, you're just going to minimalize your mistakes tonight.
That's going to be the keys of the race tonight for all the bubble drivers. Minimalize mistakes and maximalize. Never mind.
I feel like that needs to be a little graphic for next week. Keys to the race. Minimalize, turnologist, and then whatever Trey comes up with tonight.
Yeah.
And the t-shirt idea is still on the table. They're not free. Whoever from Avon Racing thought they were free. We can't give t-shirts away.
Really? Come on now. We don't have that factory set up in Taiwan yet. All right, 100 laps, boys. Any wild predictions of what's going to happen here?
I think we're going to see that number 3 machine, Tanner Sharp, going to overcome all odds here, get up to the front of the field, and win this race.
I'm going to be keeping my eyes on that Nathan Velez machine to see if he can pull the upset here.
And I guess I'll look at Paul Ross because we know how strong he is on mile and a half, so I got a feeling he's gonna try and get this one tonight. Looks like Bert's gonna make that hard left turn as he's gonna wait late. Yep. And we're green. Big jump for the Mecca.
Both lines got rolling pretty nice there, no bottlenecks, so that's exactly what you want to see on one of these restarts, just for the start.
Yeah, solid start throughout the whole field. Everyone kind of got in line and got going. I think Paul Ross gonna round Levi, trying to bring in Tanner with him.
Chuck Sweeting and Peter Short are, wow, that was close up there. Chuck Sweeting and Peter Short are both rampaging their way through the field right now. I think they gained 2 or 3 positions already. Actually, check that. I think 4 now.
Something we didn't touch on. Peter did try and qualify. Didn't get a solid lap in there. And as usual, Chuck's just going to try and gain as many spots as he can by starting in the back. Makes it more competition, I guess.
Well, pretty clean. These guys are kind of strung out a little bit. Side by side a couple of places, but for the most part, everybody's minding their P's and Q's.
Yeah, so far it looks like the bottom prevailing for the most part, but I'll be interested to see if that's going to stay for a group or if guys are going to try and move up, especially I think in 3 and 4 because it's so bumpy on the bottom. Look for guys to maybe move up a lane or 2. Hopefully, if the dynamic tracks continue to work.
That would be nice.
These top three definitely still under a blanket right now. Paul Ross not letting Eric get too far out. Actually, the 4 car right there with him as well. So the top 4 under a blanket.
Chuck just went around Kyle Hanshaw's and moved that 90 machine up into the 12th spot. He's gained 6 positions so far.
So Peter Short's going to do the same thing here down the front stretch, try and cut underneath Kyle. Don't know how stroke already. Don't know how hard that apron is to navigate B cars. I got a feeling you won't jerk it down like that in the Cup car that quickly, but it looks like they're taking full advantage of that in the B car here.
Yeah, it does gain you a little bit of time too, because it's the shortest way around the track, and you can also kind of make your move underneath people. Even though I know that makes me angry whenever somebody jams her down under there and tries to say that he's on my inside. I don't usually leave as much room. But
it's one of those where you kind of have to come up, because if you don't, you know what's going to happen. But then you really don't want to come up, so. Looks like Peter's going to try and go around the outside of Kyle. That's going to work quite so well through 3 and 4. It's going to work when Kyle gets on the apron, though.
Yeah, big bubble there. He's going to lose at least 1 more, maybe 2.
well, Matt Hackathorn sailed that puppy on the inside of America's favorite caution.
Looks like Levi's starting to fall back just a little bit. 4 cars getting around. Looks like the 3 right there on his back bumper. I'm going to try and work him over. He's using that little bit higher line. I don't know if he's maybe trying to save tires or just can't get that car pointed to the bottom yet.
Now that you mentioned tires, Thomas, it reminded me. 48 Nathan Velez is very good at saving tires, so in the long run, unfortunately, sometimes too good, because he doesn't have enough time to get back up to the front. But if this does go for long green flag stints, you might be able to see him, like Tracy, get up to the front and maybe steal this win tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you can't count him out, either with Eric or Chuck, Peter, all those guys have all shown they've got excellent tire wear throughout the season, so we'll see what they can do.
Tanner Sharp's going to take the 4th position away from Levi Zielinski there, so slot himself up.
Remember, Tanner needs a pretty good run, so.
Man, it looked like Levi got to the wall a little bit off of turn 2 to let Tanner get that run on him down the back stretch.
It's like a little different paint scheme on that 3 car tonight. Is that a Shriners Hospital paint scheme? I believe it is. Yeah, it's like he had some on Twitter about that. I didn't get a chance to read the full story, but I'm sure there's a great cause behind that quality paint scheme there. So check the Twitters for the full story.
Kevin Finn trying to mount an assault now on Nathan Velez. Doesn't seem to be working that corner. He lost a lot of time off at turn 4, but he did catch him quite quickly, so see if he can get back into the rhythm here and catch back up to him.
Looks like Johnny Thomas just got around Richard Lafferty there, so move Johnny up to P8. Teammates there, so no real struggle.
Chuck was able to get around Carlos Peter short as well, so move Chuck into the top 10.
The dynamic duo there. Looks like Peter made up a lot of time with Chuck though, because last time I checked in, they had a car or 2 separation between them. Now Peter's right back on his back bumper. So.
Yeah, I think the 2 machine held up Chuck just a little bit. That let Peter close up some.
It's like David Wilson also lost a few spots there. Sam Close has got around him, so not going the right way for David here at the start of the race.
I was going to say he looks comfortable in points, but even though I think he's 4th in points, he's still pretty close to that cutoff line because there's barely any separation. So David also needs to try to get a good result here this evening. I'd say a top 10 would almost guarantee him a spot into the round of 6.
Yeah, you just got to look who's around you, I guess, to make sure you stay within the point margins there. But so far, no one's, with Eric leading, that kind of just keeps everyone else from getting a chance. So that's probably the best thing David can hope for is someone who's already won wins tonight.
And Nathan Velez, right now, he's making his way past the 51. Levi Zielinski's going to have his sights set on the 3 of Tanner Sharp next. I believe Paul Ross is under fire right now by Luis Almaso up there for the 2nd position. Keep an
Yes,
eye
he
on those
is.
moves. That's the last transfer spot between those lads.
Interesting. It looks like maybe turn 4 seems to be more of a trouble spot tonight. Usually it's turn 2 at Chicagoland, but these guys look like they're maybe just a little tight out of 4.
Luis had a really nice run there up off of corner 4.
It's gonna move Paul Ross back to 3rd, and hopefully he can stay up there with Luis, and they can drag up to Eric Mickey here and have a little battle. Or Mecca.
Pretty sharp little Red Bull car Luis is running tonight.
Yeah, it's got a few extra wings there, doesn't it? I don't think they run that slogan anymore.
Velez is going to make his way by Tanner Sharp. Looked like Tanner had a little bit of issues up off 4. I think he had to jump into the throttle. It's just not hit the wall.
Rewind the back there for a moment with Chad Brown, Matt Hackathorn, and Richard Hines. Not where you want to be if you're a playoff driver.
No, that's for sure. Hackathorn looks like he's going to take that spot away, and Hines is going to try to come around the outside with Matt Hackathorn.
Boy, this is a gaggle up here for 8th place.
8th, yeah.
Lafferty, Sweeting, Short, Sam Close, all under a blanket there. Looks like Chuck's going to try and make the move in 3 here.
Kevin Finn also made his by Tanner Sharp, so Tanner is slowly bleeding out now, falling closer to the back of the pack.
Yeah, looks like you just, I won't say you used your tires up yet. It's a little early for that, but maybe just kind of got out of a rhythm there, Matt.
Also something I want to shed some light on right now. Nathan Velez has been about 2 to 3/10 of a second a lap quicker than Paul Ross, who's right in front of him right now. I believe there's only about a second gap between them. A little bit more than that, second and a little bit.
Meanwhile, we were side by side for about 4 positions there.
Good Lord. And it's still going on.
Short on the outside of Chuck Sweeting. I don't see that very often.
Oh, yeah, it looks like that groove in 3 and 4 is starting to migrate a little bit higher there. Chuck's gonna lose another spot here. It looks like to Sam Close.
It would make sense in these B cars too, Trey. That the more you keep them wound up, the better you're gonna do. So the higher you run, obviously the less wheel and the less lifting you really have to do. You can keep that car pretty wound up.
Did you say that Peter's going to clear? Looks like Richard Lafferty there for the 8th spot, and I think Sam Close is going to go with him.
I think they got the memo, didn't they?
Points battle to watch is fixing to be red hot here, as Nathan Velez was 4/10 quicker than Paul Ross that lap. So things are working out in favor of Mr. Velez, and he's actually the fastest car on track right now.
Not much. He's about on par with our 4 car, so that would be your next battle if he can get around Paul Ross there. Like you said, though, Matt, he's good on tires, so obviously it's coming into play. Guys are taking a really wide arc. They 1 and 2 now. I noticed back here, Peter and Sam, they're kind of doing that late arc to get the best run in. They made about half a second at least on Tanner and Kevin. Looks like Kevin's under fire again there from Tanner. Just can't quite get that power down. Might lose a spot to Peter here.
Not good for Tanner. He's got to get as many positions as he can. He's losing quite a bit here.
Yeah, just can't get the. You get the power down, but you just don't have enough track to slide up and use it. And those guys on the outside just motor by you. Might lose another one to Chuck here down the front stretch. Into one, maybe.
Oh, Sam close with a nice move there, trying to get his nose in underneath Peter Short's. Not going to work this time. He's side by side with the 14 out the corner. Woo, that got close.
And they both cleared Kevin, so move those guys up as Kevin gets knocked back 2 positions. I believe their next victim will be Zelensky in front of them there. They ran about almost over 2/10 quicker that lap than Levi. So
I got Sam close, looking low on Peter. Going into 3. It's like Peter's going to give it to him.
Gap between Velez and Ross has expanded now. It looks like Nathan might have used a lot of his tires up because he's losing time big time right now to Paul Ross and Luis Salmaso.
you jinxed him, Matt. Way to go.
I'm good at that, I guess.
There's no shocker with Sam close either, though. We know how good he is on these older pavement racetracks, Iowa, Auto Club, Atlanta, places like that. So it's no surprise he's really found his groove here as the laps have continued on here at Chicagoland. We're, 26 in, so I'm sure the tires are starting to feel it by now.
Looks like Matt Hackathorn in the 12 is retired from the event. I'm not too sure what happened there. Oh, he came down pit road and he slid it into the inside wall.
Didn't hear much from Hackathorn on the radio, so may have just not been feeling it tonight. Normally he's pretty talkative and active on the radio.
Peter Short's already made his way up. He's working on getting by Levi Zelensky right now. Not gonna get it done that time yet, though.
No, it's going to be hard to make that move off of 2. Going to have to maybe set him up, drive it a little deeper into 3. Meanwhile, behind them, Chuck and Kevin are still side by side with Richard Lafferty right there behind him.
Looks like back in the pack here, Carlos Costa and Rusty Webb made a little bit of contact. And both cars are pointing in the correct direction, though.
Still pretty clean looking, so no bloodshed. Chuck still stuck to that bottom tree. I don't know if I'd be that committed. I'd kind of want to move up, watching how Peter and Sam kind of mow through the field.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, it just looks like he's having a really tough time trying to get around Kevin on the bottom there.
And now he's under attack by Richard Lafferty in the 8 machine.
Johnny Thomas is going to be there as well.
Johnny Thomas.
Keep it up, they might allow David Wilson to reel him in a little bit.
That high line in 3 and 4 really seems to be working well as Chuck got a good run there. He's going to lose a lot of time on exit. The top line, like you said, Tom, just let you be able to keep the car wound up.
Yeah, especially in a B car, like we mentioned pretty much all year. You just got to keep it wound up. If you don't, it's just going to bog down on you.
Levi Zelensky going for a crossover too here, I think. No, he's just going to push Peter Short down the backstretch.
Yeah, Peter worked him over for 5-6 laps there, and he finally got around him. So I'm sure Levi's going to maybe see if he can follow him here and learn something. Or watch him drive away like Sam Close did. Either way.
Speaking of driving away, Luis Salmaso is driving his way to the front. He's 2/10 quicker than Eric Mickey that last lap.
Yeah, they have been trading laps back and forth. But now it's looks like the 4 is definitely reeling him in.
And Sam Close has reeled in Nathan Velez for that 4th spot. Velez actually says he's pitting. I'm not sure.
I think he hit the wrong button there, past left. Although we're not too far outside of pit stops here. Speak of the devil.
The devil.
Leader will be in this time. He might see the writing on the wall on that one, though. He saw the 4 coming, so go ahead and cut your loss here in pit.
Like the 4 is gonna follow him. Oh, Mickey's
Oh,
sideways coming into pit lane.
sideways.
Saved it. Still
Oh, no, he
knocked it
didn't.
down.
Well, Mickey's probably going to lose 2 spots there.
Now, long-time viewers, not of this channel, but of another channel, will know that Eric Mika has had some problems getting on pit lane throughout his career. So, actually, at this track too. Funny. He didn't hit anything, so he just lost a lot of track time.
Looks like Tanner Sharp down servicing away.
And we have what, Tanner, Carlos, and Chad Brown all off.
Oh,
and on
Chuck
pit lane.
Sweeting sideways, along with the 33 Chuck gonna miss pit lane.
Now, you want to know somebody has problems with green flag pit stops? That's Chuck Sweeting.
This
Pit-
is,
Pit road is his kryptonite.
I will say, this is a extremely tough pit lane to get onto. It comes up on you in a hurry, and it's off camber, and it's like a Kansas drop off the apron kind of thing. But yeah, as Peter is almost out of his pit box in pit lane there.
Yeah, I noticed that. 48.
Forced
Nathan
burnout.
Velez, yeah.
14 almost into the pit wall there is in pit box. So
He had to back up, so I'm not too sure what to.
Chuck does make it down this time.
Paul Ross was able to get out in front of Luis Salmaso. So once everybody pits here, I think that lead's going to cycle around to him.
So solid stop for the 18 crew there. By crew, I mean Paul.
He's being chased quite heavily still, though, by Luis.
Yeah, we saw what speed that 4 car had in it, Matt, before the pit stop. So I don't think he needs to rush, but he's definitely can outpace the 18 here. I think some of these boys might have been a little rusty on pitting. Might have to load up on their pit stops for next week.
I think that mistake's going to cost Chuck, because I think once he gets out of pit road, he's probably going to be a lap down.
If not, he'll be pretty far back, because they were, the way they cycled through, having to drive through the field like that, it lost a lot of time.
Yeah, the leaders just did pass Chuck, so Chuck is a lap down.
It's like Zelensky on and off pit lane. He was one of the last cars to pit, I do believe.
He was the last one to complete the cycle there now. So
Paul Ross
sliding
is
around.
just now taking the lead, so he hasn't led any laps until then.
Yeah, that pit stop by Eric Mika, it cost him almost 6 seconds. Big mistake.
Honestly, I mean, that's a lot, but that's not terrible considering what happened there. It could have been much, much worse with a DNF.
But Mickey, luckily enough for him, he's already locked into the round of 6, so this will just be icing on the cake if he can try to get this win this evening. But he's, like you guys said, quite a piece back.
Yeah, I need caution. I got a feeling some of these guys really want a caution to get caught back up and reset a little bit. Mainly that short guy, and probably Tanner and Eric both want to kind of get back in a rhythm here. Pelez also lost a lot of time through this cycle. 8.2 seconds off the lead now.
Matt Hackathorn in the chat oh my god, in the chat says this car is terrible and it's not my fault.
Aren't you responsible for these cars?
That's what
I
I
believe
thought.
this is the iRacing Chicago setup.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I think. I didn't see anything posted about a setup this week.
True, but I didn't read the notes, so it's been a busy week. So looking through to make sure, actually, Chuck is not the first car one lap down. Jordan Teal was the first car one lap down. but Chuck's right there behind him. So.
Say Chuck should eat him up pretty quickly.
Of course, that's not going to mean anything unless you get a caution. So. And now Kyle Hanshaw just got a lap, so that's going to put Kyle Hanshaw, the first car, 1 lap down.
Playoff driver here in trouble, though. Richard Hines, he's fixing to be going a lap down in about another corner. So hopefully he can stay where he is and not lose any more time to Paul Ross.
He's got a fair amount of distance. Not having the night he was looking for, though. Clearly running in 16th. He pretty much needed to win with that many points out, but or have really bad luck from a few guys in front of him. But definitely not going right so far. But we've seen him turn some races around before, and he did make the playoffs. So.
Decent little battle right now between teammates. No, never mind. As Richard Laffey's going to drive away right there from Johnny Thomas.
Kind of been hanging around each other all race. Got David Wilson with him now. Carlos Acosta not too far behind him. Kevin Finn, he's had a rough night. Kind of falling back to the field. Currently in P12. Thankfully he had 17-point cushion. Well, not 17-point cushion, but it was only 17 off the lead. So. 11-point cushion, so it's still pretty big.
Peter Short looks like he's battling a little bit of connection issues there as he makes his way by the 3 of Tanner Sharp. Warping in and out of the server real quick. Looks like me out there.
Clearly he doesn't have a 2500 ping though, Matt. A ping so bad that Matt couldn't even join the server, or it wouldn't let him off the grid for the race. That was pretty funny. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. So.
No, that's when Matt gets very angry and wants to break things.
Ooh, I believe Peter said he was on Wi-Fi, so that's a no-no.
Hell, sometimes my Wi-Fi is more stable than my internet connection.
Yes, but in, not a third world country, you don't want to normally run on your Wi-Fi. Tanner Sharp had a big moment there at a 4 and heard him get back out of the gas, or he's going to pound the outside wall there. Lost probably half a second more than that to Peter.
I'd rather lose half a second than lose the race, because if you pound that outside wall, it's not very forgiving, unfortunately.
No, you don't get many Logano cars to pound the outside wall and still run back to the front. So, especially on iRacing, they tend to take your toe out pretty easy.
Paul Ross has kind of stretched it out over Luis a little bit, just over a second.
Yeah, we saw the 4. Are you gonna take my long run here, Matt?
Yeah, so you can go ahead.
I was gonna say we saw the 4, kind of come in later in the run. I don't know if he's maybe banking on that again, or sometimes when you get out front, you get a different rhythm, and maybe Paul Ross has found something he likes out front. That clean air feel. Oh, but no, I don't get up there very often.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have no idea what that is.
Only when I'm getting lapped, and I'm the only car in front of the leader, so it makes you feel like you're leading.
When you block as much as you can, right?
I would, but they just blow right by you. So.
Yeah.
It's like, bye. Thanks.
Halfway.
Woo. So that means
Bonus points to Paul Ross. That's going to be beneficial for him because that's going to. Well, he already has his tie broken, but.
That's a playoff point, so.
Oh,
he's
that's
going to
right,
need
too.
to advance for that to come into play,
round.
but yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Zelensky on the outside of Johnny Thomas. It's for 9th. I'm curious to see how far Levi can drive back through the field. He was the last guy to pit, so a couple lap pressure tires could make a difference back here in the mid pack, maybe, or maybe not. I guess we'll find out.
He's pretty close there, as he's going to make it by Johnny Thomas. Real close to Lafferty and Velez is actually not that far in front of him. It's less than a second to Velez, so he might be able to get a few
Make a
positions
run
there.
that time. I'm telling you, he's stuck to this groove. This is where he's ran since the beginning, so I think it's starting to come into play for him as you kind of see the rubber groove starting to build up.
Velez moved his line up a little bit there.
Ooh, sharp with a little wall contact there. Nothing a little forest fire won't start there, but it's like Zelensky on the inside of Velez. I believe Velez rolled over and said, "Go ahead there, bud."
Looks like Tanner's bringing it down pit road.
That's a little early.
You have to make one more stop.
Now, was that a harder hit than it appeared, or did he already have that wrinkle in the right front? Ooh, he did not. So that was a little bit harder hit than it appeared. Don't know if that would cause a pit stop or not, but we'll see.
Tanner needs a good result here this evening to advance in the round of 6. So
Yeah, you can't make it from here. So
He's going to have to stop at least again.
and now he's going to be a lap down, and then you have to battle with Chuck for the lucky dog, which will have fresher tires now, but not pretty for another playoff driver there. These guys get a week off and they go crazy, bouncing off walls, sliding through pit stalls.
Well, you were talking about Luis in the long run. He's cut that lead in half. He's down to under half a second from Paul Ross.
And he's right there with him. Chuck's kind of shadowing these guys. I heard him talk. Chuck didn't want to make any moves to slow the 4-car up, so it's kind of just waiting to see what happens here. I'm sure maybe if he can get a run, he'll get around these guys. If he has the car to. That 4 might actually pull away from Chuck here.
I'll tell you that middle groove now is one of the fastest ways around this track.
It definitely looks pretty impressive to run the middle. Especially when they run up on someone who's not mad, you can kind of really see the difference there. I'm no turnologist. I got it in. But I would assume it's just going to move up and up if they stay green and kind of, push the rubber line up more and more. You can see these guys maybe rim ride a little bit.
That's what I'm hoping to see, because that's going to be really cool to see here.
I know a couple seasons ago we ran the cup cars here. It got unbearably loose, so you kind of had to move up to save the car. I don't know if that's going to happen. It doesn't appear to in a B car. It looks like that it's going to stay neutral. So definitely good to see the rubber laying down and people actually moving up the track, though.
And we talked about him earlier, guys. David Wilson back there in that 39. He's battling right now with Johnny Thomas for the 9th position. And I'm pretty sure as long as David will stay in a decent position, he should be able to transfer into the next round. So
yeah, I mean, he's kind of doing that David Wilson thing, right? Kind of, okay, the first run, not the best. Now he's kind of turning the wick up here the second half of the race.
I'll tell you, I think we're going to see that guy in victory lane at some point this season. He's just seems to be too good at being consistent. He doesn't ever have many issues. As I say that, he almost gets tight, but he usually never has issues. He finishes these races, and he's usually 100% clean. So hopefully he can continue that.
And make sure to check his Twitch channel out, because he streams these races with his VR headset on during the races, so that's always very entertaining to watch as Tanner Sharp with his fresh tires comes by like a rocket.
That makes you feel like Superman.
I know it does.
I was on board and you could just hear him. You got 30 extra horsepower.
I miss that feeling.
You do have to be careful, though, because if you catch someone in the wrong spot and they're not sure where you're going and they pull up in front of you, it can cause a little bit of an issue. So far, everyone's looking pretty clear. But that 48's got a pretty massive amount of damage on that right side.
Something must have just happened, because he was fine earlier.
Well, he lost a lot to the exchange of pit stops, and I don't know if he maybe got in the wall earlier and I missed it, or...
back to the rewind machine here and see where he got that.
Oh yeah, it's been a while.
Has it ever?
Since lap 39 for Mr. Velez, I believe he found.
Must have caught the outside wall or something.
Oh yeah, got a pretty hard lick at a 4 on lap 39. So definitely that's what's been wounding him since that pit stop.
Jesus, we're turning into NBC, missing everything big that's happening.
Look, you can't catch all of them. And they have 800 cameras. We have 1. So.
And iRacing's focus on crashes doesn't work very well.
Kind of like their live schedule.
Oh,
Right. Shots fired.
get the number 2, Carlos Acosta, coming down pit lane. I think he's all muffed up there. Something don't look right. Just a second. Nope, that's my eyes.
He's got a little crinkle in the hood, but that could have been earlier when he got it together with Rusty Webb.
I thought he was crabbing, so.
He's either Rick Allen.
Luis Salmaso is going to make it around Paul Ross here for the lead.
Oh, yes, he does.
Took him a while, but he was slow and steady about it.
And Chuck Sweeting's going to unlap himself here in a second.
I don't know. He's going to have to work for it because I don't think that
He-
4 car is just going to let him go.
I don't think he's going to try to get involved between these two guys. Chuck's pretty smart about that, even though it's right there, and you pass and you get a caution, you go right back on the lead lap. But
Oh,
no, it's in the pit lane.
So the only problem he was going to face is getting himself in trouble with Tanner Sharp, who's a lap down but has a fresher tire. So
Oh,
that's
Paul
not
Ross
an
peels off in
issue.
front of him.
Boy, these are awful early again.
Paul lost a lot of time going into pit lane there. Chuck gained right up on him.
And Richard
I think
Hines
it's-
coming to pit lane.
I think this is right at the edge.
Eric Mickey was being
5 car.
completely rude.
Egregious. This
We
is on
saw
a window,
Masso.
but I figured they would try and stretch this one a little bit longer, Trey.
Yeah, I guess not. I guess they were ready for the 4 freshies.
And
Sam
Lafferty,
Close.
Johnny Thomas off and on. On and off, I should say.
Oh, David Wilson coming in. He's coming in hot, too. Oh, he's at sick. He's going to get a speeding penalty. He was flying in there.
Chuck did get around Paul through the exchange of pit stops, so like you said, lost a lot of time there.
David Wilson was going 70 on the start of the cones. He's going to be
That's a little
close
hot.
to that, yeah. Unfortunate, too, hopefully. That's going to affect him a lot. He's probably going to lose a lap.
Should be about a 15-second stop and hold.
Peter Short going to come down to get service now. Velez and Henshaw come bring her down. Velez has to get that right front pulled out a little bit, though, for sure, because that thing's...
Don't have time for that, though.
That's true. I don't know. He actually wasn't looking too bad with... He was still maintaining, I think it was 7th. But he unfortunately needs to do better than that, because right now, Paul Ross is in pretty good shape. If somebody's parallel parked their car in their pit stop, who is that? Kyle Hanshaw.
Quite sure what he said. Velez said so many seconds of repairs. I don't remember what he said there.
30 there. And Hanshaw piled the inside wall just a touch there.
Meanwhile, the 4 and
did it.
18 are battling for it. Trying to get around Eric and Chuck.
Chuck or Eric still hasn't pitted yet.
And you can definitely tell.
Yeah.
Not sure what he's going for. I guess he's going to play my game of staying in a little bit longer. But now he was so far behind, it's not going to matter. But
Right. He ran a 32-2 to those guys. What?
30.1 last lap.
30.1. Yeah.
Which the 4 and 18 should cycle. Well, they won't cycle to the lead because Tanner actually will be the leader. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to run out there. But he's kind of Damned if he does, damned if he doesn't here.
Better to take a
banking on
gamble here.
caution.
Yeah. To say 6 cars gonna be coming down this time, but it's better to take a chance when you know you're gonna need something almost spectacular to be able to get into the next round of the playoffs. So
And you were right, Matt. David Wilson, 16th, 1 lap down after that cycle.
that's unfortunate for him. That might open up another playoff spot for somebody else, because he needs a caution now, but he needs it when he's the first car a lap down. Or
Well, that's going to be pretty hard to do because there's only 11 cars on the lead lap. Oh, up to 12.
yeah, Chad Brown, I believe, is going to cycle through. Maybe.
Might be the first car a lap down.
So I think the only one that got posted for speed was the 39, David Wilson.
Yeah, so far, I've seen a few incidents coming on the pit lane, but so far no major penalties other than that one that I've seen. Maybe something with Kevin Finn because he fell back earlier, but nothing widespread like we've seen in previous races. Of course, spinning in the pit lane usually is enough trouble. Or missing pit lane completely.
Okay, well, I was just watching Eric Mika come out of pit lane, and as he was leaving his pit box, the guy that was driving his car was standing up. That's incredible.
Oh, looks like the meat dart got into the wall again. At 51, Levi Zielinski.
On the front stretch, didn't he?
Yeah.
Interesting. That happened rather quickly. Did Tanner already lose the lead?
Yeah. And second. Paul Ross and Luis were able to get by him.
Tires definitely a big factor here. Was that Sam? Yeah, it is. Sam Close is also drove himself up into this picture with no cautions. He's made up a lot of time.
He nailed his pit stop there, I think, for sure.
A guy like Peter Short is 7 seconds behind us. There was smoke at a 4 for something there. That's interesting. Might have been Zielinski. He's in pit lane. Ooh, yes, it was. Sideways to 3 and 4. How was that not a caution?
He was backwards at the end of it. It was a hell of a save, though, I have to say that.
Rough night again, though, for the 51 there. Got the qualifying speed, just got to work on the race package.
Speaking of race packages, Paul Ross is trying to get to the back bumper of Luis Salmaso. He wants that win tonight.
Tanner's down pit lane for his final pit stop there.
I'll tell you what, don't look now. Sam Close is right there too.
Yeah, I mean, he's made up a lot of time over this whole race, so I don't think you can count him out at all, Trey. And I hate to jinx it, too. We've been clean and green, so that's really impressive. Everyone else pretty strung out. Looks like Eric's trying to get around Kevin there. Velez is continuing his bleed out process there. Unfortunately, there's not enough time to get that damage fixed, staying green.
That's pretty much been insanguination there right now.
Matt using his big words tonight.
That one's actually a real word, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ternologist is not a real word.
I'm calling Webster tomorrow to see if they'll put those in for us.
Webster, come on now. Looks like we're fixing to have a nice little 3-way here. Well, I guess 2-way because
I love them.
Before it's pulling away.
It won't be a 2-way for too long. It's be Sam Close. I think he's gonna be able to make this pretty quick and painless.
I don't know. Let's see if Paul Ross can keep it wound up there on the high side. It just did clear him.
It was real close, though. Yeah, so move Sam up to P2. Gonna set his sights on that 4 machine. Every time I look up, Mickey's passing someone. We got around Johnny Thomas. Now he's getting around Richard Lafferty. It's gonna move him up to P5. It's a solid turnaround for Lafferty too. He's in the back half of the top 10, so get the top half of the top 10. That's pretty good.
There's Sharp's gonna make it by Lafferty. That's not for position though, because Tanner had to do an extra pit stop.
No, he can't even. Well, he could bank on a caution to take a wave around, but he can't get a lucky dog yet. So
David Wilson back on the lead lap though, so that's good for him. Although he's 13th, they don't know how that's gonna have him seated in the points now. It's gonna be a big hit for the Pilot Performance Group team.
yeah, no one he can really get around either unless they have trouble, because he's got what, 6 seconds or so to get to Rusty Webb. So. Oh, Matt, you gotta minimize those mistakes.
Yeah, and unfortunately he was on the other end of that tonight. At least he's not going to jump out of the car like Clint Boyer did.
Well, that crew had it coming. Give me a bad pit stop, then get me in the big one. And I'm driving a Ford, which was clearly overpowered than the rest of the field. It was kind of crazy how good the Fords are at plate tracks.
That 24 was fast though before he went
Suarez
inside
did.
Sterling Marlin.
Well, speaking of going inside, looks like Sam's trying to work the outside here, see if he can get something going. He's there, just I don't know. I mean, the Ford's been tough all day, so especially the longer we run here.
Sam Close though, another guy that likes long runs, so this might be a dogfight here to the end. We're closing in on 17 to go now.
Well, I did say it would be a barn burner, so hopefully they can not make me a liar here and have a battle all the way to the end.
He got a big run off turn 2.
Oh, we might be able to get him up off of 4 here.
That's gonna be
Big
a
run
cut
through 3
down.
and 4 too.
Now the
Gonna use that.
Ford could pinch him here though and make him hold him down. I don't know if he's gonna play that hard ball yet or not.
Sam's got him cleared if he can carry it.
New leader.
We're just losing a little bit of time. That's a nice run for Luis there in that 4 machine. See if he's gonna do something crazy going into 3. He's not. He's gonna back off. That's a respectable move.
You know he's going, where in the heck did this guy come from?
Yeah, really.
I've been racing Paul Ross all night, and then all of a sudden here comes Sam Close.
The meat dart.
Ross,
dear Lord.
people were to pass him.
I can't.
I mean, that's clever. You know, he's having a solid night. This is what he needs, a solid run. Some other guys have found trouble. That's the points you needed. You surely do not want to get watered up with less than 15 to go. Other really tight battles. Maybe Kevin, Finn, and Velez are kind of going at it, but not too much in that battle. I think Finn just got around Velez, maybe. Looks like I don't believe Eric's gonna get much further than what, P5 at the moment. He's gonna need a little help to catch Peter. It's quite a gap.
sits right now, guys. Tanner Sharp, David Wilson, and Richard Hines will definitely be out of the playoffs.
Oh, Lord, are you doing math again?
Yes, that's why I haven't spoken over 2 minutes. Oh, Levi Zielinski! Good Lord, man. That was terrifying.
Maybe Paul Ross actually was right about pointing people by.
And Luis did not give up any room there, which is his right because he is racing position as well. But
It is the faster car's job to make the clean pass, and clearly the 51 has fresher tires, but just kind of maybe misjudged that a little bit.
yeah, he did a good job there, not getting into the side of him, because that's when you get into a situation like that, that's hard to come back from it.
Just give you a little heart attack there. That's what you needed. So I guess the story would be this is a playoff round, an elimination round, and your top two are not even playoff drivers. Trying to steal the show here.
Yeah, stinking her up.
Trying to NEMA check it. Hashtag Kansas.
You're really digging up bones for that one, aren't you?
Well, how about this name drop? He beat Ricky Rudd.
In the
Wood Brothers
car then?
That's back when it didn't run well either.
To compound matters worse from David Wilson, I think he's about to get dropped.
Ooh.
Ping is.
Well, his quality's still up there though.
It's coming back. It was down, and his ping was over 1,000.
And his quality's 101 right now. How does that happen?
That's when your internet goes, I don't really know what to do with all this stuff, so I'm just going to start sticking it here and here and here.
I wish I knew what that was like.
He did stabilize there, so.
Unfortunately, it's still P13, so. But I did say I didn't think he could catch Rusty Webb, and then there's Rusty Webb right in front of him, so. He has made up, what, 6 seconds? So. It's one more point.
Yeah, Matt, you said he was currently out, right?
I believe I'm just double checking right now because is a 9-point buffer to. No, he does not.
Oh god.
I think he is out.
Dear Dan Lisa, please make points on the.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Ooh, Carlos Acosta rim riding through 3 and 4 there.
He has an 8-point gap to.
This is where we see the educational breakdown of the Canadian schools, ladies and gentlemen.
He only has a 4-point buffer to Paul Ross and Nathan Velez, sitting in the last transfer spot. So.
And that's more than 4 points. It's like 10
positions
positions between himself and Paul Ross.
That might actually put Velez in as well. Because Lafferty is only. Oh, this is going to be a mess. I'm not even getting involved. This is nuts right now. Where's Lafferty running? No, Lafferty's running good. Let's get back to the action because I have no idea about this.
Oh no, I think our viewers enjoy this.
There's about to be smoke coming out of the goddamn ears.
Oh man, these caution-free races kind of make you step your game up. If you make that little mistake like Chuck and Eric and those guys, you just, or even Peter who had a bad qualifying effort, you just don't really recover unless you're Sam Close. Looks like David's going to get around Rusty Webb, so one more point as they're going to be careful not to get lapped here.
I think Matt's head just exploded.
Did it ever because I just went into some dead and gone team speak by accident there.
Oh, it's the one that doesn't pay the bills.
One that embezzles money. But
Didn't run.
Levi Zelensky's car looks even worse. I don't know if he lagged out, got lag damage, or if he actually took a flip, because that thing's destroyed.
Well, he's
lag
got the
damage.
freshest tires in the field. So I mean, it's beat to hell on both sides. But
On my screen, he lagged out, and I guess he flipped while he was lagged or something.
Sam close putting a lap on Rusty Webb there.
As long as Sam doesn't make any mistakes, he's gonna have this one in the bag.
Yes, as our producer reminds us not to Scott Ickes that's heartbreaking. That's hitting the wall with 2 to go when you pretty much got the race won.
And the
a
championship.
championship.
Yeah.
Hashtag never forget. All right, this is the last lap. In Chicago. What if he gets a deep dish for winning?
He gets a trip to go see Brooks Potts.
Oh, Lord. Well, here's your winner, Sam Close. Looks like Sal Masso right home P2. Paul Ross, solid P3.
I want this to be seen. He started at P18. And he went all the way through the field under green and took a win.
Yep. I have a special feeling that he was pretty good getting in and off of our lane there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and
But
Corey
Corey Lindsey's
Lindsey
gonna-
is our savior
Thank
by
God,
updating
otherwise
the
it would've been a
points
disaster.
right now. Otherwise, we would have had to shuffle you off to maybe a different network while we figured out points.
Yeah, I just sit here and stumbled over my words again.
Like NBC did today when they just shuffled you off to another network instead of interviewing the winner. It's like, oh, let's go.
At least it was Keselowski and not Casey Kane, who's won one race in 4 years.
Well, what do you say we start working on some of them there interviews, boys? Well, Sam Close continues to burn his car down as he backs her in the fence there. It's going to make it past NASCAR Tech.
Go see if I can find Mr. Ross.
Got a feeling he'll be pretty happy.
All right, Paul. You started third tonight, finished third, led some laps. Looked to have a pretty decent car under your belt, but those 2 in front of you just a little bit better on the long run, but still got to be happy with your effort tonight. Definitely going to make it to the round of 6, I would think. So tell us about your race.
Yeah, towards the end. I mean, I definitely didn't have any speed for Sam. I was kind of catching Luis and staying with him, and it got to a point where I started thinking about the points, and I saw Sam come, and I knew he was going to get around me either way. So pretty much the last 25 laps or so just played it safe and was just trying to get as many points as I could. There's been a lot of stupid stuff happen this season, and didn't want to lose it that close to the end.
Well, now, Paul, we're pretty, like Trace, we're pretty sure you're going to make the next round with that solid finish there. How nervous are you knowing you need to get a good run in at Dover for the next race because Talladega is after that? Is that going to keep you up at night trying to make sure you get that good finish at Dover?
Dover, if I remember correctly, I've finished top of their most of the races that I've made in the league. So Dover should be a pretty good track for us as long as we can keep the car clean and not getting anybody else's mistake. And as for Talladega in the B car, we can usually do pretty good, but it usually ends in a wreck. So, I mean, it's 100% crapshoot on who's going to win that and who's going to move on after Dega.
All right. Matt, you got anything? Nope. Apparently, he's still playing with his abacus. So, Paul, you know how it goes, man. Great race tonight. Give us those shout outs, brother.
I want to say good run to Sam. Want to thank Nathan Young for sponsoring the B-Car Series, Corey Lindsay for putting on the 3-Wide Racing League, you guys for broadcasting every Sunday and Monday for us. I want to thank Skidoo, BRP Products, B&M Fabrications, and everybody that helps us out to get this thing going each week.
All right, Paul. Right on, man. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one, brother.
Thanks, you guys too.
Sorry about that, guys. I had audio issues, but on a side note, the points are updated now.
Okay, well, somebody that's not really worried about points was chasing that win. He started 4th. Solid second. Led quite a few laps, 15, I believe, tonight. Just couldn't close the deal with Mr. Sam Close. But Luis, still solid effort. I know you were looking to make it up from your trip to Mid-Ohio, and definitely solid effort tonight. But tell us about your race, man.
Yeah, I thought tonight was going to be the night. I thought tonight was going to be all right. Here we go, top of the podium. Let prepare my speech, the whole thing. And then all of a sudden, I see this rocket coming from behind. I said, what the hell is he running? And Sam was just too fast on that final stretch. I've never seen anything like it. I was telling the guys on another channel that I've never seen a guy drive from the back of the pack all the way through, everybody passing everybody under green. And I when he went by, I said, all right, what is he doing? I tried to copy the line, the whole thing, just couldn't do it. He was on a different league. But another one that slipped away, but we're getting close. We're getting close.
Without a doubt, you're definitely knocking on that door week in and week out. How didn't really talk to Paul Ross about it, but how was the car tonight? We noticed you guys looked pretty neutral, pretty calm throughout the whole race. You guys just kind of raced each other, and like you said, Sam at the end was on a different zip code, but it looked like you guys could kind of race each other, move around on the track when you needed to.
Yeah, the car was pretty under control. It was not one of those situations where the car is loose and you had to do a lot of it. So the conditions on the track being the way that it was, there was a lot of grip. And as the run was happening, you could see that the car was just getting snug and it was getting tight, especially midway through the corner on the way out. So if you entered the turn way too heavy and you had to lift, you couldn't get it back on the gas fast enough, that's where you're going to lose a lot of time on the exits. And you just needed to manage and make sure that you were hitting your marks every time. And as the track was getting more and more rubber, you needed to know when to lift a little bit early just to hit your marks. And at the end, when the track was really, really tight, you just couldn't get on the gas as early as you wanted. That's when Sam found that extra grip. I don't know where he hit that thing, but I already sent a note to my mechanics. Go figure out where that 5 found that extra grip, because he managed to get back on the gas sooner than everybody. That's how he was pulling away there at those last 15 laps.
Well, she did a really good job there tonight. Unfortunately, as you said, you got spoiled there by the 5, but you were definitely one of the fastest cars on track. So when are we going to see you again in the Nathan Young Designs B-Car Series? Because we know you're on a partial schedule.
Yeah, now that these final races, I'm planning on racing all the next ones until the end of the championship. Had to miss a couple in the middle of the year because of outside life, and that didn't allow me to make the number of laps, the number of starts that would let me qualify the whole thing. But hopefully, I'll be not only racing the B series, but tomorrow night as well until the end of the year, as long as outside life allows me to. That's what I plan on doing.
All right, Luis. Well, solid run tonight, man. Great effort. Hope you get a chance to race again. But before we let you go, man, give us those shout outs, brother.
Yeah, I got to give a big shout out to everybody in the league that put one hell of a race together going green in a track that is not easy, especially running side by side, making passes. So everybody that was on the track, awesome job. Thank you guys for putting the awesome broadcast week in, week out. Everybody that I know and then I share the link, goes back and watch, have a blast. And everybody at WCR, my teammates from Racing Officials on the rest of the server that taught me how to get around this place and be competitive. So big shout out to them. And we'll see these guys on the next race. So maybe by the end of the year we can get a win, spoil someone's party by the end of the year. So thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next one.
All right, Luis, have a good one, brother. All right, I got him. He started 18th, drove his way under green within 100 laps, finished the race 1.7 seconds ahead of second place. He only led 17 laps, I believe, but it was the last one that mattered. Sam Close, brother, you were on fire. Tell us about your race, man.
Oh man, I don't know. Just kind of got in a groove. Car felt like it was on rails, so was really good in the long runs. Somehow I was able to save the right front, and next thing I know, I'm like running Peter down and passing him. I'm like, what is this, Imagination Land or something? So that was refreshing, man. That was a lot of fun. Working up through the field and racing around those guys, and we went green the whole time, so that made it even that much, more satisfying.
Now, with the race going green like that, Sam, did it maybe give you some insight maybe for tomorrow night, how the track evolution works? See you maybe see what kind of lanes came in or what not to do maybe for tomorrow?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I ran tonight, just to try to see if the track did change a lot. For me tonight, the track didn't seem to change too much. I mean, the bottom was the place to be all night, even after we got some rubber. I was arcing it a good bit. That seemed to help out for the long run speed. So there's definitely a couple things I can take from tonight, and plus that good mojo, and just try to carry that on to tomorrow night for the big race.
Well, Sam, it's gonna be exciting for tomorrow to watch you tomorrow at Chicagoland for Cold Hard Air Cup Series. But what is your outlook, I guess, for the rest of the Nathan Young Designs B Car Series? You gonna keep running these races, just trying to customize yourself with the tracks that you're gonna be running for the championship for, or are you gonna kind of tone her back now that you're gonna be in full playoff mode?
I don't know. I'm just kind of taking it week by week on running the B races. Like they're fun, and if I'm on a Sunday night where I don't have anything to do, I'm gonna run it. So I can take some stuff from it. The A and the B cars are kind of a different animal, so you can't really take a whole lot from it, but you can definitely get in the groove. And we've seen a couple of guys sweep weekends. I think Kevin did it once, and Peter did it once. So maybe it's my turn to sweep a weekend, and hopefully we can bring one home tomorrow night too.
All right, Sam. Well, before we let you go, man, you know the deal, brother. Give us those shout outs.
3OG, 3 Wide Racing, Corey Lindsay, Cold Hard Art. He makes some really cool stuff. Check out his website. Everybody in the league, it was a great time. Everybody raced clean tonight, as usual. So it's a great time overall. If you haven't, if you want to join a league or something, this is definitely one to check into, because Corey runs this thing like a top. So just had a lot of fun. Thanks for the broadcast, and I will see you guys tomorrow night.
All right, Sam. Well, hey, congratulations again on the win, man. Look forward to see you tomorrow night. Take care, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, Matt. Well, you said points were updated, so who's in and who's out?
Well, officially, I think Nathan Velez and David Wilson were tied for the last spot.
Of course they were.
And Velez, I think he gets it over with his win. He has a win, and unfortunately David Wilson does not. And I just wonder what could have been there, because I know David is going to be pretty upset about that. I know I would be, but he ran a hell of a race, and just one mistake cost him. But
Yeah, that's all it takes, though, right? That's why you run the races.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sure at this point, the producer's running down the results on the screen, as you can see where your favorite driver finished tonight. Up and down night, as we said, for some of the playoff drivers. The bottom 4, as Matt mentioned, they're done. So we'll move on to the round of 6 for the next event at Dover. That should be nerve-wracking, because everyone loves a good race at Dover. But before then, as we mentioned, tomorrow night we'll be back here in Chicago to eliminate the bottom 3 for the Cold Hard Art Cup series. So be sure to tune in for that. That should be hopefully as eventful as tonight, man.
Yeah, and it was great. It was green, clean, and lots of hard racing. So I'm sure we'll see a lot of that tomorrow night with Cold Hard Art Cup Series. They always put on a great show. So make sure you tune into that tomorrow.
Unless there's anything else, Trey, you can tell them what they can do.
See ya.